Again, another Daily Mail article that looks absolutely buggered up because they have absolutely no idea how to format their pages. But again, it is about Netflix and about the shift that we are all noticing. Netflix's woke purge troubled streaming giant's latest layoffs targeted staff who were among its most vocal social justice warriors working on original content about marginalised communities because it seems that that stuff's just not popular anymore. Netflix laid off 150 employees on Tuesday, many of whom were working on creating and promoting projects focusing on marginalised communities. The firm additionally fired nearly 70 employees working for its social media and publishing teams, including strong black lead Golden, Contodo, and Most, all that catered to marginalised communities. The struggling streaming giant claimed the layoffs were carried out amid a slowdown in revenue and decline in subscribers. The layoffs once again targeted members of content arm Tudum weeks after laying off dozens from the department in April. Netflix's recent axing of 290 staff targeted many of the firm's wokest workers who are prolific social justice warriors on social media, it has been claimed. And the reason for that is I'm sorry, that stuff doesn't sell. It does. Capitalism doesn't want it. And that's the way companies work. If there isn't a market for something, if people don't want to buy something anymore, then why waste your capital in making it? Why do that? Get rid of it. The struggling streaming service has pulled the plug on several projects that were aimed at discussing race and LGBTQ, LMNOP, XQYZ, LV426 issues. Variety reported and asked the diverse employees working on and promoting them. A total of 150 recruitment workers were fired, as well as another 70 animators and 70 contractors working on promotional materials for the firm, including social media and publishing. Those promotional workers were assigned to work on Netflix projects Strong Black Lead, the Asian American focused Golden, and the Latino focused Contodo, and the LGBTQ focused Most. Netflix claimed its latest layoffs were due to a slowdown in revenue and decline in subscribers, but critics online say many of those given the boot were from minority groups, and others have speculated that the firings were part of a woke clear out because, like Jeremy loves to say, go woke, get woke, go broke, right? Because people don't like it. Like I said in my Hays Code video, the reason the Hays Code failed is because everybody kept going to competitors that didn't have to abide by the Hays Code because people were sick of being preached to all the time. They were sick of it. As a white, speaking as a white man, right? I kind of don't want to watch a show where I'm told I'm a piece of shit and I'm responsible for everything bad in the world, right? I kind of don't want to watch that. I kind of don't want to pay. I don't want to pay to be told that I'm a piece of shit, right? And people got sick and fed up of it. Here's why the white man's to blame for this or this whiteness. We have to dismantle whiteness. Do you want to? Do you want? Do you want to fucking? Do you want us to tell you what an awful, terrible, shitty, fucking useless human being you are? Well, you can get all of that for $15.99 a month because the price just went up. I mean, I can get that for free. I'll just phone my dad, right? I don't need to pay for it. Right, Common Sense with Barry Weiss's weekly TGIF newsletter said that the company framed the firings as layoffs, but 150 people doesn't really make a dent for a company of 11,000 people. Those 150 happen to include, just by chance, some of the most Twitter active social justice warriors, social justice workers in the place. Well, you know what companies do. If there are people that damage your bottom line, then you just get rid of them. You just fire them. The streamer has found itself at odds with some woke staff who've gone on the record to slam their employer, how unlike them, over shows they deem harmful, including Dave Chappelle's The Closer comedy special. We remember when all of that shit went down. Among the newly fired were Olivia Truffaut Wong and Lydia Wang, who shared their upset on Twitter. I was laid off by Netflix today, Wang tweeted on Tuesday. I really love my job and my colleagues, and I am a little heartbroken. Truffaut Wong also wrote on Tuesday, okay, yes, I am one of the Tudum layoffs. I did a lot of work I'm proud of, met a lot of awesome writers and editors, and made great friends. It's the cycle of media life. H. True Blackburn, another laid off employee, recalled the turbulent saga where he did not know whether he had a job or not. Eh, I know, it's a shit situation. I'm not happy about people losing their jobs and stuff like that, but you know how it is whenever an industry goes obsolete, whenever there isn't a market demand for it anymore. It happened to the stocking makers, it happened to the basket weavers, Happened to a lot of the coal miners as well. Happened to a lot of the farm workers. When they weren't needed anymore and there wasn't a market demand, hey ho, out you go. You had to go and learn a new skill. I wonder what new skill. That joke's been done to death. Tudum is Netflix's marketing website, which offers fans a more in-depth information about its shows. So basically, the marketing means it is the public face of it in a way. Netflix's move also drew backlash from media critics and other animators who slammed the streaming company for leaving its employees high and dry after previously preaching the need to have a more diverse workforce. Well, personally, I think you should hire whoever's best for the job, but that's just me. I think it is just me. Filmmaker Carla Houston called Netflix a joke and tweeted, is Netflix laying off the teams associated with making and promoting content for marginalised viewers? That's what it seems like. No, it's just that there's still lots of content that features black people, Asian people, gay people, and blah, blah, blah. It's just, see those type of shows. Like, one of the shows that get cancelled was one literally called Anti-Racist Baby. That's fucking garbage, man. Just put that straight in the fucking bin, right? Like, I can sum up the show. I can sum up every single one of these shows. Here is a minority born into a poor family with a loving mother and father, but that's not the problem. The problem is society. And then she goes out in her daily commute, and a white man says something bad to her on the bus. And that's every fucking show. And then she's like, no, I'm actually brilliant and I'm good. Hello there, my lesbian lover. Oh, the world is against us. It's just you and me and multi-billion-dollar corporations against the world, right? That's every single one of those shows. That's every single one of them, right? If you've seen one, you've seen them all, right? And that's why they got rid of them. They were like, okay, this type of stuff, people don't want it. People don't want it. People don't like it. It's not selling. People aren't watching it. And it's also what's causing a lot of people to turn away from our service. So they're going to get rid of it. Carla Monterosso, who works to secure economic opportunities for women of colour, tweeted, Netflix had a powerhouse team of creators from a variety of marginalised communities and they were performing exceptionally well. The market says otherwise. Had us all invested in their work, they were then the first people they showed the door at the first financial difficulty. Matt Acuna, an animator for Bob's Burgers, also criticised Netflix for the layoffs while taking on other projects with wealthy backers. You mean the ones that actually have funding? The ones where there actually is a chance of making money. He tweeted, what a great day for Netflix to announce they're giving Ron Howard, a millionaire with no experience in animation, full control of an animated movie, while simultaneously snuffing out projects specifically focusing on marginalised groups. Funny timing. The firings come after Elon Musk claimed the firm's tanking share price was due to its content being infected by the woke mind virus. Except, it's not even like it's just, but there's only been like some isolated, like, you see it everywhere. Like, remember the Gillette commercial, right? There's like loads of fucking examples of whenever people turn around and say, hey, straight white men, you're shit, right? It's whenever people start doing that shit, stock prices fall, people start to turn away from it, people start buying the products less and stuff like that. And however, the point of a company is you need to make money, you need to make your shareholders happy, you need to keep your profit margins nice and fat. Like, that's what you're supposed to do as a company. And if these types of shows, like great classics like Anti-Racist Baby or that fucking Q-Force or whatever the hell it's called, nobody likes that. Q-Force, even gay people hated that. The marginalised group that show was meant to be for, they fucking hated it. They hated that show. Nobody wanted it. Right? So that's why everyone's saying, okay, if this isn't attracting people, sometimes you might make a show and it's just shit. You make a show and it's shit and people didn't watch it, and then, yeah, that's fine, whatever. They can go find something else on the platform. But if you make a show and it makes the person actually angry, where they start thinking, wow, okay, fuck this platform, and then they leave, that's a problem. That's a problem, and it has to be said that a lot of this type of, woke content is kind of based around telling white people that they are pieces of shit. It is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, so all of these shows can be boiled down to white people are the problem, right? White people are the wokes, Jews, like that type of thing. And people don't like it. Turns out people don't like being called pieces of shit and stuff like that. And that's why people are unsubscribing for the service. Netflix's show about a pregnant man he's expecting. Yeah, was cited as a prime example of content designed to appeal to a tiny minority that had sent viewers switching off in their droves. Woke staff anger at Dave Chappelle's The Closer comedy special also illustrated the internal strife at the firm. A small but extremely vocal minority of Netflix staffers accused the streamer of harming transgender people simply by letting Chappelle defend author J.K. Rowling unchecked. Unchecked. Well, Dave Chappelle did get checked for that by like multi millions of people all over the fucking internet against one guy. Yeah, but he has a giant platform, yeah, well, combined so do fucking millions of Twitter accounts. Most of whom I'm sure were not bots. It's unclear if any of those staffers who protested outside the office have been given their pink slip. I think for safety reasons, those particular ones probably haven't. Earlier this week, Netflix announced a new crackdown on woke staff who try to interfere in shows they deem harmful or which leave viewers feeling unsafe. Unsafe, a TV show. You know, pictures and words on a screen. Yeah, unsafe, right? If you don't like a show, then you don't like a show. Whatever, do not watch it. But when you start going down the path of, I want to dictate what other content people can enjoy, then you're a fascist. I'm sorry, you're a little fascist at that point. Look, I'm sorry, you're not in your mum and daddy's house anymore. Not everything can be your way. Other people like stuff and other people want to enjoy stuff. If you don't like it, then whatever, go watch your own fucking thing. But then when you start turning around going, no, that's not enough. I want to ban other people from that. Fuck off. You were that kid on the playground. You were the one that tried to come up and pull that shit, and then everyone went, "Nah, fuck off. No, we're not doing that." And then you had no fucking friends because you were an arsehole. In a memo to employees following the mass layoffs, Netflix heads told their staff, "As employees, we support the principle that Netflix offers a diversity of stories, even if we find some titles counter to our own personal values. Depending on your role, you may need to work on titles you perceive to be harmful. If you'd find it hard to support our content breadth, Netflix may not be the best place for you." A Netflix spokesperson told DailyMail.com, "As we explained on earnings, our slowing revenue growth means we are also having to slow our cost growth as a company. So sadly, we are letting around 150 employees go today, mostly US based. These changes are primarily driven by business needs rather than individual performance, which makes them especially tough as none of us want to say goodbye to such great colleagues. We're working hard to support them through this very difficult transition. A number of agency contractors have also been impacted by the news announced this morning. We are grateful for their contributions to Netflix." Commenting on the call at Tudum, the spokesperson continued, "We are making changes to how we support our publishing efforts, including bringing some of this important work in-house. Our social channels continue to grow and innovate, and we are investing heavily in them." In other words, let's try and do some marketing that doesn't have that little woke blotch on it. And this is just a collection of tweets. This is journalism now. Just posting tweets. Okay. The most famous of which, they've also scrapped Meghan Markle's pearl, right? Now, we get the point. We get the point. This article is going on a lot longer than it needs to, right? Now, woke doesn't sell. It doesn't. You know, it might make the company feel all nice of, oh, I said something nice about Indian people. Oh yeah, good for you. Right. However, like there are certain shows where yeah, you can have diversity. Like there's diversity in a bunch of fucking things, right? If everything was all white all the time, then I'd be a little bit hold on a little bit here, right? But that's not the point, right? That's not the way things are, right? You have diversity in shows, but everybody's saying, "Oh no, we want ultimate diversity. We want more. We want more. We want more." And there's like, well, how much more? And whenever you ask them, they never have an answer. You should at least have your goal in mind. I want to achieve diversity. What does diversity look like? How will you know when you've achieved it? And they can't fucking answer. Some of them might say when there are the exact proportion of, like, you know, say that the black population is 10%, one of every 10 people in like a TV show should be black then, and stuff like that. And by the way, fun, just so you know, it's actually been that way for a long time. Directors do that when they're casting. It's actually been that way for quite a while now, so you're fighting for nothing. But anyway, it doesn't sell. People aren't liking it. Look, as a company, they've had to make a business decision. They're turning around and saying, okay, subscribers are down, viewership's down, shares are fucking down. So we need to do something about that. So let's start trimming the fat. Let's start getting rid of the stuff that does not make us money. And especially, let's get rid of the stuff that is actually damaging our reputation and turning customers away. The woke shit. The woke shit does that, right? So they're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of it. And they might, who knows, maybe, just maybe, they are going to make good shows. Remember that? Do you remember when places used to just make, they weren't worried about diversity or having a transgender black Muslim, like, you know, as a leading role or anything like that? Remember when they just made good stories? Like, see, for example, like fucking Squid Game. There were no white people in Squid Game at all. Fucking phenomenal show. It was a great show. Okay, hold on. There was some bit parts of white people, right? There was some bit parts in it, but there was no white people in Squid Game, right? It was a fucking great show. There was barely any white people in Black Panther, and it was okay. Black Panther was okay, right? See that type of stuff, right? That's fine. Just make stuff like that, right? You don't have to. You can make things diverse without also preaching some preachy fucking message, right? Because the right wingers tried to do the preachy shit back with the Hays Code. It didn't work. It had the opposite effect, in fact. And now it seems that leftists are learning their lesson as well. Let's call it the woke code, right? The woke code. You must have exactly 3 black people for every 1 white person, and you must have 3 gays for every 1 bisexual person, as well as 1 neurodivergent demigender brony fucker, right? Like that's, they see all that, people don't want that, right? The Hays Code tried to do that, it fucking failed, society shifted anyway. Netflix and all the other places, like all the woke code stuff, they're trying the exact same thing, it's not working, and society is shifting anyway, right? None of this shit works. Do you know what does work in getting people to come to your platform or watch your TV show or watch your movie? Just make a good story.